Straight shattered, New Eden's the stage. Echoes blare, community love, digital age. Rambo in the cockpit, missiles blazing rage. This podcast drops, we unpack the cage. New Eden's vast cosmic sprawl, corporate scam. Trash talk, flying across the void, warhead slam. Propaganda thick, cloak the scam. Flex with strength, hit 'em with the flim flam.
The Echoes of New Eden podcast starts now. Enjoy the show.
And we are now live. Welcome to Echoes of New Eden. I am Taylor Rick. It is just me tonight, unless one of the other co-hosts decides to pop in. If Rambo decides to pop in out of the blue, or Damon Zell, or Juby. Or I think Juby's asleep at this time of night, actually, in his cottage out in the woods, which I'm sure are snowy year-round from the sounds of it. But anyway, it's a nice visual, though, right? His cottage in the woods. If only things could be that calm in real life. So, with that said, here we are, ready to kick it off, another show. It's been too long. There's a lot to go over. As you know, today we had a patch note drop on us for tomorrow's update, for the 7.18 or 7.17 update, I mean. And as I predicted, it was a big one. I look at it as a big one. There's a lot here to go over. And I told everybody that come this week, we were going to probably see a big patch. We'd probably see a lull in the events in between the ending of it last week and now. We'd see not a whole lot in the store. Hold on to your money. Hold on to what you're doing. Don't try to go crazy with things. We've got another event coming, and this will be the one that leads up to, of course, the anniversary, which we are now less than 30 days away from the anniversary. So I'm going to make another prediction that will come true, just like this one, that this week would be a big patch week. Is that by the anniversary, whether it's on that week or that week that they actually celebrate the anniversary, which probably won't be on the 13th, because if you recall last year, even though the anniversary was on the 13th, I think that fell like, I forget when it fell, like a Friday or something like that. It wasn't this week. It's going to be, when is it going to be? The 13th is going to be on a Tuesday. So that's patch notes, right? So they may actually do the real full-blown like anniversary thing the week of that 13th. But then again, last year was like around the 20th, like the week after, just because of where things fell. This week could be on the 13th, but I'm predicting somewhere between that week and the following week on the 20th when we see the big anniversary, all the cool stuff that comes with that. And I'm predicting it right now. We're going to see Keep Stars and Fortizars, right? They've been laying the groundwork for Citadel stuff now for a couple of weeks, multiple weeks actually, even back to where they were doing some differences with Ansiblex and the Corp tech tree when they added extended range there. So structures and add-ons and everything around Citadel and Sov has been kind of what they've been leaning into hard. 14th is on the cycle, but the 13th is when they release the patch notes. That's what I'm getting at. Like today, they released the patch notes today, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 13th is a Tuesday, so that's when. Right, August 14th is the actual patch the next day. So I think that's when we'll see the big anniversary celebration stuff. If not, the week after, somewhere in there. And we will see, because that's the 20th, 21st, which is more in line with what they did last year, but who knows. But by the time that comes, either before then or up to that point, that's when we're going to see the Keep Stars and the Fortizars. New shit. Even more new shit. So, with that said, you guys have looked at the patch notes by now, I'm assuming, right? And you know we have this new collaboration event. This supposedly isn't the first collaboration event. This is like the third, if you really want to get technical. But it is what it is. This one is super mecha. The first one would be the Sciences, right? The very first one. The Sciences were actually like an infinite Lagrange kind of... But that's funny that everybody said that at the time. I remember a certain content creator who shall not be named said this was a crossover event with another NetEase property, and that shit belonged in Infinite Lagrange. And now the Science is in EVE Online. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, is what it is at this point. So yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but the Science C is now in EVE Online. I find that hilarious. Whether they released it yet or not, I know I've seen the details for the release of it. If it's happened already, I don't know, but it's there. So now we have this other the second crossover was really the waifu skin type stuff. I don't know if some of that was made up, some of that wasn't, but they played it like a crossover. I don't know. You can call it weird, but maybe this is the first real, true, official crossover because it is another NetEase property. Super Mecha Champions is a whole nother game. Rambo was playing it today and won it within 5 minutes. So I don't know. I don't know if that's believable or not. Rambo's the king at playing all kinds of other games, except this one. I'm kidding, Rambo. I love you. No, he said it seemed like okay, whatever. You can see the conversation right here on Discord if you're listening to this podcast afterwards. Hey, he's posting stuff for it right now. There he is. He came in first. So, he won. He's done. So that game's over. But you can look at the styling of it, right? It's a very anime-ish looking type of game. And so we can imagine that some of these skins that are going to come with it is going to be, it's like Titanfall kind of robots, right? 100-person battle royale with mechs. Yeah. So, I don't know. That sounds kind of, I don't know. Sounds like Fortnite in mechs for your phone. I don't know. Not for me. Yeah, exactly, Sniper Wolf. Not for me. I'll just stick to killing Meow. Anyway, so Super Mecha event starts tomorrow, goes all the way through August 7th. So, again, think about these timelines of how things play out. August 7th, there'll be a little bit of a lull between this event and the next one, like the one we just had. That would allude to the very next week, August 13th. That patch note's there with an event starting August 14th. 7-day lull between one event and another. There's a very, very much a pattern here. Very much a pattern here. So it's easy to kind of discern this out. But that says, I love this. This is, as soon as I read this, I just laughed. It reminds me of some of the silly, stupid songs they've done over the years. That one that I just couldn't stand when it first was released. I forget if that was the second anniversary, I think, because it was the lady singing. I think that was the second anniversary, not last year's, but the one before that. And I just absolutely hated it and thought this is cheesy, stupid shit. And like a month later, I'd play it every once in a while and listen to it because it kind of just was an earworm. It really was. But when I read this line, I was reminded of that. And this line for the new event is the romance of space and mecha when the high-octane excitement of Super Mecha collides with the expansive universe of EVE Echoes. An unprecedented collaboration event is about to begin. Yeah, unprecedented, I guess, because maybe this is really the first true collab between two NetEase properties. I mean, what are we going to get? Are we going to get Mario Kart themes on gates and stuff? Maybe it's not Mario Kart. NetEase has got a version of a game that's like Mario Kart, like a total knockoff, because they like to do that. They like to knock off other games and make money off of it. Why not? I forget what their game is. It's kind of like a crossover between Fortnite and what's that other first-person shooter game that's like Fortnite or third-person shooter? That's like that probably came out before Fortnite, and then Fortnite just went nuts with it. It's not Apex, not Apex Legends or whatever that was, but it's that other one where it's got the guy and PUBG, exactly, PUBG. NetEase has a game that's kind of like PUBG, more like PUBG than anything else that competes with it, and makes them more money than any other game they have, I believe. Last time I looked at those stats, Rambo can correct me once I'm wrong, but no, it's a game like, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's Once Human. I don't know, but they've got it. Look at that. I'm going to say that live on the air. Rambo has an EVE Echoes album in production, currently in the mastering process, 12 plus songs, hoping to release by August 1st. Muffin, if you're here, I can't tell if you're here or not. If you're listening to this, you and I need to release our counter album of 12 plus songs before he releases his on August 1st. And you know what I'm talking about. I can't play it live on the air because it's just the laptop and me. I don't have like an extra. Yeah, exactly. Let's get a disc. Oh, we should make a diss track. Yes, we should make a diss track, Muffin. So now we're going to have like the competing albums with one another. That'll be great. That'll be fantastic. So anyway, all right, back to the patch notes. Good. Cool little. I think this is a cool little event. Even though I haven't seen it yet, I think this is going to sound like a. I don't know, whatever. I think it's going to be a cool little event. So the Champions Collab store itself, which opens tomorrow, goes to the 7th. New items include Super Mecha Champions. Everything starts with Super Mecha Champions. I'm going to not say that again. Okay, I'm already not going to say that now. Even though I think it's going to be a cool event, I don't need to say SMC one more time. But there's going to be an assault module shipping container. Now, I want you guys to realize that when they call these things shipping containers, they mean that they are selling assault modules in a container. I saw people get confused on this instantly and think that shipping containers or actual containers were going to be released tomorrow. That is not the case, unless it is the case and Denny's doesn't know how to write in English or even Chinese and just hit translate. Like, there's no confusion here. This is an assault module container, right, that you can buy in the store, period. There's also an integrated module container. I'm not even going to say the word shipping at this point because I don't want to confuse people. Integrated module container, a blueprint container, and a structure skin container. So this is all new stuff, though. It's not just, more assault style fighters and the same ones we've already got. Although the integrated module container more than likely is just more integrated modules because it's very difficult to get 3 P80s right now. I don't know if any of you guys have tried to get 3 P80s, but the pricing on 3 P80s is insane. I need 3 of the I guess I only need 2. I really do need 2 of the 3 P80s, but I can't afford the blueprints with everything else I'm doing. So if someone wants to make a donation to the show, I'm more than happy. I'd love for you guys to make a donation to a show and buy Taylor Rick 3P80s blueprints. That'd be great. That'd be hilarious. And now I've just discovered I can split my screen and see the on-air chat and the patch notes provided by Honk at the same time. So I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. Whatever. Checking the recording. We're good there. I'm on honk.click/patch/ That is how you read patch notes, by the way. I just posted that in the live air chat because it's just fantastic. Yeah, you can also see the patch notes in the Suite app. That's interesting. Darius, do you have a link to the Suite app itself? Because I know it's on GitHub. So for those of you who've been using Suite app on iOS, I think it's dead on iOS completely. Someone told me it was back, or you could at least download it again. But Suite app just had a huge update here, like in the last month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever it was. And it's fantastic. A lot of new stuff is in there. You still don't get the implant stuff that you want to see overlaid over the top of everything else, but a lot of the other things are there. You have to install Impact to get it to sideload. Yeah, if you want to do sideloading stuff on the iPhone, but for those of us who are too cool to jailbreak the iPhone or get caught for doing that, we don't do that. So, app's not in the App Store because of yeah. So, anyway, but you can get the GitHub. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of work in process, even on the GitHub side. Just get it on your desktop, put it on your laptop. It's actually better that way. It's so much faster with all the little things that are in it. Suite is an excellent app. So you can get the patch notes there too. Or you can just use that link I provided up above. Let's get back into the actual patch notes. So like I was saying, those are all containers that are going to be in the store, as well as, this is kind of an odd one, General Units Drone Lucky Draw Box. So, I guess that's not really odd when it's just the general units because it's just a random, you're going to get one of the general units out of there. Okay, that makes sense. Every time I see Lucky Draw, though, I think of like the events and the gacha games and all of that, but this is just it's just you get a random one out of the box and they just leave the words Lucky Draw in there. I wish they wouldn't. I get like PTSD from Lucky Draw shit. Exactly, Rambo. Yeah, heavy fighter siege modification supply. So the heavy fighter, that's the rig that goes on supers, essentially. You can't get that right now unless you build it. It's not bad to build it, so I don't know why they want to put it back into a box other than, cha-ching, money. They want more money. So, but yeah, you got the option to buy it again. So hopefully it's not too expensive. I need to pick up like 2, but we'll see. It's just a rig. It's not a super in a box. It's a rig, but whatever. Fighter refractoring and lightweight ship refractoring supply restocked as well. So those are the rigs. I'm pretty sure those are the rigs. That sounds like the rigs for the Lucent Moon and the Vax, pretty much, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking when I read both of those. Is that's what those are for? Is you can get those for the store as well. So then we get into the stuff about the drones and fighters, where they talk about all these variations, right? So drawing on data from the Super Mecha Champions competition, military corporations from various countries have developed the latest mecha-type drones. These new drones and fighters boost significant enhanced performance compared to conventional models. To obtain, it's a store purchase or industry manufacture. Now, this isn't really a change in the way that they do things, but it kind of is. Evening, Damon. It kind of is a little bit of a change to the way they do things. Usually they release this new stuff out, and it doesn't. Yeah, I know I sound different, Nessival. I've been talking loud in a factory all day long training guys, and so my voice has gone to Barry White. So yeah, that's what happens when I talk a lot. I'm not sick. I feel fine. Perfectly great. Can talk all night long, but my voice just drops an octave. So it's what my wife calls come to bed time. So no, it's just me. Anyway, so no, usually when they do this, they just release them out where you have to buy them and you can't manufacture them until like a week or two later. Kind of like what they did with the tactical defense implant. Yeah, pretty much it changed. Exactly. I was yelling at people all day. Honestly, I have to talk so loud and make sure people are listening to me and I'm whipping them into shape. Yeah, I am kind of yelling. I do yell all day. So factories are loud. Exactly. So, with that said, they usually don't do it to where you can manufacture these at the same time, but you can. You can buy them in a store or you can go right to industry manufacture. During the event, there's a chance to obtain blueprints by purchasing equipment transport crates from the collab store, and they also have a chance to drop from cosmic anomalies such as Wayseeker checkpoints and Wayseeker maps. Okay. You don't have to pay for the new stuff. They'll drop, and they'll be on the market. They're going to be exorbitantly expensive if they're on the market, or you can just go rat and get them yourself. Of course, those two, let's see, Wayseeker checkpoints and Wayseeker maps, is that all of Drone Lands, or is that just... Yeah, I'm thinking it's just Ethereum. Yeah, I know the drop rate's going to be nothing, Darius. Come on, don't rain on my excitement here. Totally just throwing a wet blanket on me, Darius. Thanks. Anyway. Bradrick. And he makes more zeros. Drop rate is now 0.0000000. That's funny. But it's going to be Nettie's math and rounded. That's 1. So from the way they normally do it. Anyway, so no, they're going to drop. They're going to be on the market. They're going to be available. I think that does mean Ethereum, though. It's either Ethereum and Calvala or just Ethereum. I don't think that means Cobalt. Someone who's in Cobalt a lot could probably tell me if Wayseeker checkpoints and Wayseeker maps drop. I don't pay attention to these freaking names anymore as far as which anom that means that's in. Calvalla's Centrums? Yeah, okay. So it's probably just Ethereum then, Kingslayer. Burr, you should know. You guys are over there a lot. Okay. This collaboration includes 8 types of drones and fighters, so this isn't limited to just cat pilots. This is drones, so this is going to be good for the DNI guys. This is going to be good for the RB 3 Covops guys, anybody with drones, and probably pretty good for those worm pilots with the OP one-shot kill you with 45 Bombard. Worms are dangerous if you didn't know any better. So, yeah, exactly. Vexor Navy issue, right? So, still a very, very a VN2. Was it Vexor? That's just a Vexor 2, actually, as I was thinking about. But yeah, anything using drones. But for the most part, those drone boats are going to be the ones that. Oh God, could you imagine again? I mean, honestly, really, if you think about it now, what a T9 battleship with a nanocore maxed out and full implant for that. Tactical defense thrown on top of it, a T9 is like it could probably rip some people up. Not against like a Tempest Navy issue or something, or Tempest Fleet issue, but I mean still. Anyway, all right, getting back to the patch notes. I love getting off track with you guys. That's hilarious. That if you're not on the live Discord, yeah, I know, going off the rails, Darez. Someone posted Juby's thing with him on the train, like gonna smash into everybody. I guess he's really upset about the Duo Omega thing, which is a little upsetting. But yeah, anyway, it's pretty good. You should get over on the live Discord if you haven't and go look that up on the live channel. So it's pretty funny. Anyway, so there's 8 types of drones, each with 3 variants for capsuleers to choose from. Large drone, Hurricane. So we're going to go through all these real quick because some of these are really cool. So there's a large drone. It's called a Hurricane, a modified model on the experiment. That's not, like, confusing at all. Why'd they pick the name of an existing ship? I mean, could you just... Did the spinning wheel of names run out of space? I don't understand. Anyway, a modified model based on the experimental data of the available agile combat mecha using a modified drone rocket while still retaining its original advantages in agility and firepower. Now, I've read through these descriptions once before, and when you read these and you think about what is this thing going to look like, these drones are not going to look like anything else in the game. They're going to look comically hilarious. Like, it's going to... kind of like the Cyan C did at first. I mean, it's just going to be hilarious to see what these things look like. Like, I'm expecting, like, one of these descriptions reminds me of the Millennium Falcon. I'll get to it in a minute. Maybe you can just you can figure out which one it is. But honestly, one of these sounds like a fucking Millennium Falcon. It's going to be great. Sentry drone is called the Pulsar Sentinel, a heavy model based on a modified model based on the experimental data of the dual form combat mecha. Dual form combat mecha. Somebody look up what the hell that looks like from this game, from the Super Mecha Champions. Somebody look that up. I want to see what these things look like. The Pulsar cannon, the Pulsar in its cannon form possesses high firepower, by compromising its propulsion power to charge the plasma pulse cannon in its transformed form. It deals immense electromagnetic and thermal damage. Yeah, exactly. It's going to look like, that's hilarious. They're going to look like little robots in space. I mean, if you really zoom in, how many of you guys, back up for a second, how many of you guys have ever gone and looked really closely at what the ships in drone lands actually look like? How many of you have actually gone and looked to see what they look like up close? Not just the little graphic when you're killing them, but when you look at them up close. They are totally unique. They're different than anything else in regular space. Some of them look kind of like that thing that Rambo just posted from Battleship. They're kind of wild looking. I mean, like the Centrum itself is pretty wild. Yeah, exactly, Kingslayer. It makes me wish I could fly some of these things. And if they look like these robots do, I'm just gonna laugh my ass off. Could you imagine just shooting a whole bunch of little robots out? Like somebody play the Transformers song as they pull out their weapons to shoot. Oh no! Here's what'll happen. They will have a little animation for when their guns come out. Just try to shoot, and it'll be so intense on the math and the code on the background that whole sections of the map will become clogged and not be able to, you won't be able to jump out of those systems. Oh, wait, we've already done that. We're going to get into all that kind of stuff and new community news and all that later, as in probably next weekend with this upcoming weekend with Rambo. But anyway, all right, back to these ships. These things are just hilarious. Shield repair logistics drones. Darez, this is one for you. Shield repair logistic drone. Caramel heavy cannon or caramel. You could say caramel or you could say caramel. Yeah, and chained, exactly. It's a caramel heavy cannon. This logistic drone is a modified model based on the defense mecha equipped with military support AI systems and shield maintenance devices. Its rounded bare head design reflects the designer's preference for a cute style. What in the fuck does that mean? What? Let me read that to you one more time. Its rounded bare head. I mean, you can't make this up. What is this? Oh my God. I have to have one now. I have to have one of these now to shoot out of my ship. I mean, good God. This is this is a crossover event, Damon, with Super Mecha Champions, the game. And so when they're describing these things and what these drones and fighters are based on, we're pulling up images of what these things look like, and it's like, holy crap. I don't know what we're going to get in the morning, but I'm kind of looking forward to waking up and seeing this shit. Anyway, armor repair logistics drones called the Bolide. Called the Bolide. This is a modified model based on the industrial robot equipped with military support AI systems and armor maintenance. Is this the Bolide? Oh, there's the Carmel. Oh my God, that's what the Carmel looks like? Holy shit. In its original design, it could retract its body into a spherical shape to pass through complex environments or slam into obstacles. Now we're going to be shooting out armor logistics drones that look like balls, and they're going to act like bombs from bombers. They're just going to fly out in a straight line in a ball and then go pop. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. That is insane. I don't even want to. I mean, I don't know, Nessival. This could be totally stupid. These drones could look totally fucking stupid. I mean, I don't know. The descriptions are great because they're probably gonna look a little odd. I'm just telling you right now, these things are probably gonna look a little odd. But maybe because of their stats, they're gonna be so overpowered. Everybody's gonna want these things. These things are gonna be like. I bet you right off the bat, for day one tomorrow, these things are going to be $8 billion per fighter, per drone, or something stupid. I mean, it's going to be insane. Let's get into and that's really drones, right? So, I mean, they're talking about drones there. So, sentry drones, large drones. So, there's no small drones, there's no medium drones. I just realized that. It's a large drone and a sentry drone. So, there's nothing for worms. There's nothing for cruisers. There's nothing for this is straight up battleships and bigger. That's it. Because it's large drones, sentry drones, and then you get into logistics drones. And now we've got the light space superiority fighter, light fighters, right? So Pulsar Light is one of them, and Pulsar Heavy is the other. And the Pulsar says the light humanoid. Oh my God, look at these things. The light humanoid form of the the light humanoid form of the Pulsar possesses extreme agility and retains the plasma pulse rifle as its primary weapon, capable of rapidly tracking targets and inflicting electromagnetic EM and thermal damage. So it's a dual damage type, like an integrated fighter is, but it's a light fighter and it does EM and thermal, and it has a humanoid form. Oh my God. Same thing with the Pulse Heavy. It's a little bit faster, a little bit tankier, but deals the same damage type, okay? God. Heavy attack fighters called Hot Steel. Hot Steel. Why does that sound like a porn movie? I mean, oh my God. Modified from the experimental data of the heavy combat mecha, although it's heavy armor and massive main weapon. It has a massive main weapon on the Hot Steel. Hey, I wasn't wrong. It does sound like a porn movie. The heavy artillery equipped on its right arm. Oh, its dick is on its right arm. Can unleash thermal, kinetic, and explosive damage on targets. So it's going to have 3 damage types. So yeah, everybody's going to want that. And then there's a lightweight ship for the Vax. So there's one for the Vax, and it has equipped with a tailored anti-air high-speed rocket launcher. Anti-air high-speed rocket launcher. What the fuck is that? Is it a bomber? Is it like a bomber that drops bombs? I mean, what? Instead of just the bombers we have now? I don't get it. It can effectively engage aerial targets and has considerable burst firepower. Hey, guess what? We're in space. We're not in the air. So good job with aerial and anti-air terminology. So, yeah, I mean, with multiple damage types, Troopa, I would say that's probably because it sounds like those, along with the heavy fighters and light attack fighters, might. And I really get tired of how they interchange the names of space superiority fighters, lightweight ships, heavies, lights, whatever. It's I can't even think straight at this point with all those different terminologies. It's crazy. But here is the big one, the next big one out of all of this, the thing that I think is going to kind of change the way things look and the way people think about SOV a little bit, is the Super Mecha Champions collab structure skin. This one's a little different. It will be available for a limited time in the collab store during the event, including 3 skins. The Jaka, Jaka. Does anybody know from this game who Jaka, Joanna, and Ning are? Can you look up in this game who these characters are and post pictures of them? Are there super mechs? Is that the name of the mech itself from the game? They're anime characters. Yeah. Can we get pictures of these anime characters? Okay. Holy shit. One of them's kind of hot. So we're going to have those 3 that we can now plaster onto our citadels and our under outposts. So there we go. All 3 of those are going to be plastered somewhere. It's going to be pretty crazy. The skins will include exterior and interior effects to the structures. So that's pretty cool. We've talked about this for a very, very long time about, people want to pay for things, but they don't want to pay for things that impact the PvP outside of PvP side of the game, like so impactfully, like the tactical defense implant, which you can almost not get unless you pay for it cash, right? But that's one that everybody really needs. So it's difficult to build it in game. The cores barely drop, so they're expensive as all get out, right? So there's got to be there's all kinds of other things that they could do to make money without having to and charge for it, but it doesn't impact the game directly. It's not a pay-to-win type of scenario, right? And here we go. Here's and we've often said station containers could be the same thing too, if that's what it took them to actually want to do it. But at any rate, now we have skins for our citadels and our outposts. It's something that we've asked for since Outposts came out, really, like 6 months into the game. So those are the 3. They'll have those 3 characters plastered on the side of them. Who knows what the color palette and choices will be? Who knows how much you'll be able to change that or modify it or make it look like certain things. But yeah, I'm getting to the Scram thing, Muffin. We'll have a conversation about that here in a minute. That's pretty wild. Anyway, so here's the weird thing about this, though. It says Capsulers have a chance. Capsuleers have a chance of obtaining a Capsuleer Outpost skin option box or a Corporation Outpost skin option box by purchasing the Super Mecha Champions structure skin secret trafficking container from the store. So you're buying the traffic container. It comes with whatever comes with it, all at random chances of this, that, or the other. It'll probably be $200 a box. You're probably right, Reaper. And yeah, exactly. You have to buy so many of them in order to ensure that you get one of those 2. But here's the kicker. Even after you've done all that, Let's say you do all of that. Guess what you get to do with that skin on the if you get the Corporation Citadel skin, guess what you get to do with that? You get to apply it to your Corp Citadel, and you never get it back. It's not yours. It's the corporation's. That's it. And it says, after the corporation structure skin is activated, the ownership of the skin belongs to the corporation. If the capsuleer who purchased the corporation structure skin leaves the corporation, they will lose the authority to that skin, to use that skin. Now, the way they word that is very convoluted, because on the first side, they're saying that the ownership now goes to the corp. So you would think if the capsuleer leaves, it just stays there at the corp. But the way they word that, they will lose the authority to use the skin. I guess that means the capsuleer will. But anyway, it can almost apply that both ways. Like the corporation will stop being able to use the skin if that player leaves, which would be hilarious. Anyway, let's see. Then we have encounters that they're going to do. I'm not even going to care about the encounters because, honestly, these encounter missions that they throw up, you're done with them in 10 minutes. The rewards are total shit. Who cares? The writing's horrible. Like, until someone does one of these and comes back and says, no, Taylor, they've really actually made a kind of a fun little story. It took me like a couple hours over 4 days to get it done, and it was kind of interesting. Like, until someone comes and says that to me, I'm never touching the things. I just refuse. Other than to look at the pretty character faces, maybe if there's pretty faces there. Other than that, I don't care. All right, Mecha Frontline Event Manual. That's also part of this event. Complete designation. Oh, that's the missions rewards up. Yeah, who gives a shit? Navigator program's back. That's pretty cool. Everybody needs more SP. They've dropped the cost of that, which I think they did before, but they're mentioning it here again. It's now $360 instead of the. Well, you can do it at $499, but you can do it at $360 as well. So that's good. But now let's talk about some of the balance patch. On top of all this, they put a balance patch in here, and they introduced the Capital Remote Capacitor Transmitter. Talk about like throwing a whole bunch of shit out on the plate at once. This is like going to a buffet and getting everything at the buffet, including pudding on the side. Like I got a couple of things of ribs. I got a chicken drumstick, I threw some macaroni salad in the middle of that. I put some pudding on the left-hand side, and I threw a slice of cheesecake over there. On top of all that, I drizzled my favorite, which was fettuccine Alfredo. That's this patch note. It's like all over the effing place. But anyway, this is a Capital Remote Capacitor Transmitter. Nessival. A Capital Class Fleet Support Module that can transfer the ship's own capacitor charge to a remote target. So we no longer have to worry about battleship level group reps and all that kind of stuff in your mid slots. This is now a Capital Class remote transmitter. How to obtain? Manufacture them based on blueprints purchased from the market. So they're going to be seated on the market. Just like the last couple of siege modules or triage modules that have been replacing all of our siege modes, which they did that as well. So anyway, balance adjustments. New siege reinforcement tactical modules can be purchased from JITA. Activation time 15 seconds. Fuel usage is 150 gigajoules. Other attributes are the same as Lancer Dreadnought Siege Mode 2. All Dreadnoughts and Lancer Dreadnoughts have had their built-in siege module or mode removed. They now have an additional mid-slot +1 and a new bonus, the ability to fit siege reinforcement tactical modules. So they're continuing along this trend of getting rid of the built-in button push for modes, pulling them out, and putting in modules for them, which I think is great. I think this is a fantastic move. They really shouldn't have had these push button features on some of these ships to begin with, and I say that as a fiend pilot who absolutely loves my defense mode. And the moment they pull that out and give me a module for it that has to go in the high slot, I'm going to fucking riot, but I know it's coming, so whatever. I mean, it'll be the last one they fix, but it is what it is. So, yeah, exactly, Bad Riff. These changes are fantastic. So the first one is the Logistics Support Tactical Module, new effect, remote capacitor transmitter transmission. They've changed all that up, plus 50%. The Mecha has better power grid, has a remote capacitor transmitter range of plus 75%, and the transmission effect of plus 5% per level. The LIF, kind of the same thing, a little bit different stats, but they got a power grid buff of plus 32%. That's huge. Remote capacitor transmitter range an extra 50%. Transmission effect plus 0.5, plus 0.7, plus 7.5, sorry, per level. The Apostle got more power grid, got more transmitter range, and also got a better effect as well, a bigger buff there. The Nanazu the same. The Lightweight, power grid plus 20%, and added new bonus for but its remote capacitor transmitter range is plus 100%, like the Nanazu. Those are the only two that got those big effects, and then the transmission effect of plus 10% per level. This next line in the patch notes is confusing. So let's just stop right there. We're going to put a pin in everything we've been talking about so far before we get to this next one. And let's talk. And I'm going to skip over it actually and go to a few things and come back to it because that's going to have a longer discussion, I believe. That is a lot of balance adjustments on all of the faxes. Very specific to the faxes. And that capital remote capacitor transmitter is basically just all fax stuff too, right? So it's, I mean, I'll be surprised if you could fit that transmitter to, anything else. If you could fit it to a super, I'm going to laugh my ass off. I'm just going to laugh. I know. Exactly, Reaper. Exactly. Anyway, now I'm not talking about Doctrine. I'm just saying if you could fit one of those to a super, holy shit. If you know how a super works, then there you go. Anyway, that's a lot of changes. That changes logistics at the capital level quite a bit. Quite a bit. And it makes a few things viable now that were viable before, but they're even more so now with that. Like it makes it like a no-brainer at this point. And I'm not going to say exactly what that is. I'll let you guys suss that out and figure out what that is. But you're probably going to see that change over time in the next, couple of weeks, months. And how that's going to impact it. But that's a massive change right there. So just be warned, that's a massive change. Like I said, I'm going to skip over the one thing. To cosmic. Okay, moving on. Cosmic anomaly adjustments. Scouts are gone as of tomorrow. It's just Inquisitors. Anything that you would have gotten in Scouts is now over in the Inquisitors. Inquisitors are now worth about double what they were with the inclusion of the Scouts. At least that's what they say. Double rewards. I don't know if it's double the value. I don't think anybody's really running Scouts. But this doesn't have anything to do with whether or not people are running Scouts or they're running Inquisitors or any of that kind of stuff. They're slimming down the number of anomalies that we have to choose from so that they can add new ones. That's 100% what they're doing. This isn't, I'm sure they're looking at the numbers and saying, well, compared to what we have in those certain anomalies in Scouts versus other ones, we don't need it. We just put these two together because they know they're going to have new anomalies coming that are going to be part of your normal anomaly, overview for what's just in the system to warp to. And whether those are Titan anomalies or not, I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but I think there's going to be new capital anomalies that spawn that may kind of lean towards something along those lines. But anyway, this is just about slimming down the tree so that they have room to add more. Instead of there being, 50 different types of anomalies that can be there, they want to keep that number relatively manageable. So, yeah, they most certainly did they learned their lesson from the rallies handing out debris like candy. That's from Kingslayer from Orc. Yeah. The 250 kilometers. Yeah. Which, does anybody still do that? Does anybody still actually do that? I mean, you could face tank it in a dread all by yourself. Who does that? Well, you're doing it if you're stealing it from somebody else's. But I mean, I don't. A lot of people still do that cheese, huh? Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you have what you have, right? If you're just a carrier pilot and that's all you got, then that's what you can do. So, yeah. I mean, it's true. That's true. Past the 250, you don't have to worry about any kind of defense. You can warp out easy and all that stuff. Anyway, but no, they're making more room for more anomalies. Like what exactly those are, how those look, how those play into, who knows? Anybody's guess. We'll see. We'll see how that comes. But I know there's going to be more anomalies coming. Optimizations, and I said this was coming as well. So Nostradamus here predicting things. Bomber battleships are now capable with old series nanocores of the same type. So my purple Abaddon core that I got out of a whatever is now going to be fittable on my Abaddon bomber tomorrow. Tomorrow. So that's fantastic. No, Luan, I've been yelling at folks all day long, and it's just my voice. It drops an octave when I've been yelling at people all day long. So anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be great. All the bomber battleships now can use the thermogenic 2 storm core, whatever that thing's called, and any other nano core that you can get from the regular store. You don't have to have that silly black hole looking. Yeah. So, yep, pretty cool. Anyone will fit. Let's see what else. Added a donation requirements to the corporation insurance points description, tech level of at least 7, and join the corporation for the last 30 days. I don't know anybody who's using corporation insurance points to begin with, since you have to swipe to get them. Like, what the hell? Who's even using them to begin with? I don't. Nobody. Like, it makes no effing sense. I don't understand that at all. No, Kingslayer. The only way you get corporation insurance points is if you buy them with cash and give it to the corp. That's the only way you can do that, which is dumb. It's just totally dumb. So now they're just saying that they're making sure that you can't do it unless you're tech level 7 and been in the corp for 30 days. Like, why does that matter? Anyway, removed volume information from implants and skills from item descriptions because, they have no volume. That's kind of stupid. Remove classified 2 gravitational wave graph from the standard shard exchange store. Rewards will continue to be optimized in the future. All right, cool. And we got bug fixes. Let's see. Nothing here really is mind-blowing on the bug fixes. There's just all normal stuff, nothing crazy. So, with that said, I'm Batman. With that said, let's talk about the funny one here. Added 10,000 warp jamming for corporation outpost, preventing any warp commands. So when I first read that, I thought, holy shit, are they going to do something to where the outpost, the corporation the citadel itself, is going to be able to put out 10,000 scram and not let anything warp? Like, that's when I first read that. And then I talked to a couple different people, Reaper one of them and Dara's the other one. And I kind of realized their thought on it was probably more correct. They're putting a tribute into the citadel that says you can't warp the citadel because it's jammed by 10,000 points, so it can't warp. Like, could it warp before? Has somebody warped an outpost or a citadel on accident? I don't understand. I see that muffin. Yeah, I'm Rick Man. So someone clip that and use it as a soundboard. I don't know. But I don't understand why they added this. I mean, the number of ways that you can read into this as far as why they're doing this is so crazy. Like, did someone warp one by accident? Was someone in one, took control of it to be able to shoot at somebody, but they were in a fleet, and then they got a warp command, and then got, like, did it graphically move on the screen? I mean, like, but stay put, or did they just get a command and then like they got a thing on the screen that says you cannot actively warp or something, and like what? My imagination runs wild with this. So I don't understand what the point of this was. Then I got to thinking, okay, I'm going to put on like a conspiracy theory hat here as to why they did this. They've been putting a lot of effort lately into SOV, into updates with citadels, and obviously the skin thing is another part of that, but also, like things like the ANSI Blex gates got increased via CorpTech, so they've now got the ability to do additional things with how they play with stuff on your add-ons. We know Keepstars are coming. They don't have fighters. Fortizars have fighters. Keepstars do not. They made changes to where you can now take control of your Citadel and put fittings on them for defense. I don't know why anybody would waste not being in a capital or battleship out undocked versus that, but whatever. You could, I guess, just have your guy with mining skills who does nothing else get in there and actually, provide for defense. I don't know. But with all these changes and with the known two types of citadels coming, the Keepstars and the Fortizars, maybe they needed to do this in the underlying code with the way they've changed structures on the back end, because they do have a structure coming that can be placed, anchored, picked up, and moved. Does that ring anybody's bells from another game, the game that this one comes from, which is EVE Online, where you have things like, moon mining. Moon mining is you can put down a structure. You can do the moon mining with that structure. You can anchor that structure. You can pick that structure up and move it somewhere else. Right? So maybe that's the secret, crazy ingredient that gets added in for Titans, which is materials from that. So, yeah. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, why announce it if it's a non-issue? Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, there's so many times, Muffin, that we have gotten changes in the game that weren't in the patch notes that had a big impact. Like the split second, 2-month period, and I swear they went back and took it out of the patch notes, but it was there at one point. I remember for sure, this is not, maybe it's the Mandela effect, I don't know. But I remember for sure that there was a time where you could downgrade your T4 sit. Now you can't. When they first came out, we knew that you couldn't. But I remember somewhere in there being a patch where you could, but now you can't. And it's nowhere in the history of the patch notes. So, I mean, maybe I'm just dreaming. I don't know. Maybe I just thought that, or I can't tell. But all I know is I thought at one point you could and you can't. And that would be something that would be in the patch notes because that's pretty obvious, right? But it's not. It's not. In fact, when I go back and search the patch notes right now, I can't recall. I have to go back and do it again. Whether or not it's even in there now that you can't unanchor them, because it lets you act like you can until you hit the button to actually start it, and then it says no. But it'll let you go through all the steps you would normally for downgrading a T3, except for it stops you at the last second. It's kind of weird. So I don't know why they would add this line in if it doesn't end up applying to anything. Exactly, Bradrick. I don't know. I don't know why they would put that in if it doesn't apply to something. It has to have some sort of application. I don't know. Yeah. See, they're not that smart, Spartan. They're not that smart. There you go. The goo must flow. Moon mining. Anyway, that's the patch notes. Everything coming tomorrow in a whole. That's everything. And I wanted to address that and talk about that tonight before we got too much farther along, because if we tried to cover all of that and we cover everything that's been going on community-wise, war-wise around the map, all the other the backstabbery stuff that we're going to talk about coming this Sunday. That would be like a 4-hour show on Sunday. So So this Sunday is going to be a good long show, but not a 4-hour show because we did part of it here. We'll see what happens in terms of how this plays out, what it looks like. I'm sure we'll have some follow-up information about all of these drones, all these fighters, and how they apply, the capital stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of things that are going to break tomorrow, so we'll be able to cover that as well. So be looking forward for this weekend Sunday show. I know we'll have one for sure because I'll have time. I guess I can't say that. My wife could decide something else for me. But I'm just assuming that I'll be ready and ready to go on Sunday for a Sunday show, probably EU time. And we'll be covering whatever the fallout from all of this is, whatever the real changes look like once we see them tomorrow, and bring you all the latest and greatest on the community war news, the wars that are going on, all the chicanery we had with the gates and systems not working and how that got resolved and why it was there in the first place, believe it or not. All of those things were. I guess you have to tune in on Sunday and find out. Not going to tell you. So, yeah, all the botting stuff. Yeah, you're right, Rambo. We have so much to go on. It's insane. So we had to do something here tonight. So with that said, I'm Taylor Rick. Thanks for tuning in tonight. That's your patch notes for tomorrow, 7/17/2024. We are less than 30 days away from the anniversary. Obviously, we're getting more anime naked girls, this time on our citadels instead of our ships. Be tuned in this Sunday for more, and we'll catch you later. 07.
Docking request accepted.
Rolling to the notch,